We got a nice little Tuesday night going vertical here on a Tuesday night as I get a bunch of emails, which is fun. The also cool part is we got the final lease yesterday, for those of you that don't know. So that'll be coming in. We have that, and now waiting for the electrician to get back to me, as well as the architect, on what we have planned for upgrading the electricity to have another 100 amp hours there. So that'll be cool. What else? And yeah, I'm ready to sign this lease into existence. So that'll be coming as soon as I get the go-ahead from headquarters. Because we are creating the entity there. So until that is like said and done and perfect, ready to go, then I gotta wait to sign off on it, but we are moments away. So finally, we are finally moments away here. So aside from that, we got the office coming, we got the lease, we got basically waiting to just sign off on that sucker as soon as headquarters gives me the go-ahead. But yeah, waiting for those two people to respond back so that I can start to give them all the connections with our x-ray vendor and getting that x-ray room ready to go, which it takes a lot of steps to do all that. You need like permits and all this crazy stuff. So got to do it the right way. Get it through the town and make everybody happy. So, alrighty. Well, hey, why don't we begin with our Q&A? And for those of you watching, feel free to throw your questions down below. I'm going to make sure that our live chat is pulled up there. There we go. So why do I get shaky or lightheaded if I skip meals? Typically, I mean, when you're restricting calories, you're going to run into blood sugar issues, or if you're just waiting to eat, like say you did a bunch of activity, or people that just worked out and now you're waiting a little bit too long, that could definitely be a reason, because your muscles are using up a ton of that sugar in the system, so you need to replenish. And when insulin kind of overshoots times there as well with the liver, you're going to run into issues with not releasing enough glucose, so you can be lacking that, and now the brain starts to get fatigued because that's your number one fuel source for the brain. Your body's always craving sugar. Please understand that. Spectrum, are you? From the Elite? Not too sure, man. Either way, the YouTube comments are sometimes a cesspool, but everybody's welcome. So, and for people getting the lightheaded, the shakiness, you know, when you start avoiding or even skipping some meals, maybe you're trying to do something like intermittent fasting, it's definitely worth getting a fasting insulin first, as well as, you know, fasting glucose, maybe even some adrenal markers in there as well, just so you could see if there's an insufficient adrenal component to this too, because, or even an excess, because now you can have that blood sugar dysregulation along with the excess cortisol stuff going there too. So, the Elite, buddy, no, not at all. I think you're projecting, man. I think you're projecting. But yeah, shakiness, sometimes it means hunger, sometimes it's not. But if things are being thrown off there internally, then we can totally get that. And why? Okay, second one, why do my eyes twitch randomly throughout the day? Eyes are small muscle spasms, so thinking that way, then magnesium is going to be pretty important here, especially when you start to get deficient. Say you're drinking a bunch of coffee, that can deplete a lot of your key essential minerals there, or there's additional adrenal stress going on too. Maybe there's other electrolyte imbalances there because you have potassium and sodium and chloride that you need all these in proper balance there. So, but the electrolyte piece there with the adrenal components, and just double checking up on the magnesium, but those are things that you can easily get checked. The potassium there, sodium, magnesium, and cortisol rhythms or just cortisol itself in the blood. You know, if you are running into an issue like that, get some salt in the water. Let's maybe do some, ours is called relax powder, but any good magnesium glycinate, I would say, is probably your best bet. And for an adrenal stress without having any testing done, safe zone, ashwagandha, you're pretty much safe there. So, oh no, I'm gonna have to look up what that term means. Graham, maybe you meant phlegm. Maybe you meant phlegm. There can be a lot of components to that. If you meant phlegm in your chest there. Air quality comes to mind too, because now that we're starting to, you know, get some fall weather in, things can be a little bit more damp. You can have a ton of dust circulating in the room at night. Maybe it's just a matter of getting an air filter, a HEPA filter on there, or even something like a My Triad air filter. There is the food component to that too, leading to histamine responses and now getting excess mucus production, because that mucosal lining is trying to protect you. So if you're getting either something airborne or you're taking in foods that are irritating, whether it's different immune cells or, you know, the lining of the GI itself, then yes, now we're going to get an overproduction of mucus or phlegm, and that can affect your lungs, that can affect the throat, the stomach itself, bloating, and just kind of poor energy production throughout the day too. Commonly seen with allergies there. But allergies are really common. I've never seen somebody that doesn't have them. So, and he said, no, this is all the time. Really dehydrated as well. Drinking lots of juice, acidity from the stomach. Okay, so you mean like acid reflux? Like it's coming back up? Because then that's a key detail here. So if it is something like the acid reflux, then you want to do this. You want to get aloe vera juice, and I would start with this guy. Take tablets for that. Yes, so here's what you're running into. The tablets that you're taking, things like Tums and things, it's just going to suppress that symptom at the beginning, but the underlying reasons for that are allergens and stomach acidity getting too low. So when you start to do something like aloe vera juice, best brand is going to be Lily of the Desert, and I'll even put it in here. Lily of the Desert. And you want to get some aloe vera juice from that brand, and just start by taking the dose on the bottle and doing that probably 4 to 6 times a day the first day, and then try and cut that in half and just do it with meals the second day. You should start feeling that reduction. Day 3, I would add a teaspoon up to a tablespoon of apple cider vinegar within that aloe vera juice, because now you're going to start to work on the acidity, which is why you're having that acid reflux in the first place. So pretty different way of thinking, because you're taking a tablet to suppress the stomach acid right now. What juice? It's this, aloe vera juice. So that's the first thing you're going to start with. And then after 2 days, you're going to mix this in with it. It can also be worth doing some colostrum a little bit there too, because of the phagocytic activity that you're going to have, as well as natural killer cells, and then getting the IgA, IgM, and IgG immunoglobulins, which help out the mucosal linings there. And that is also in the description here too. I put my email in there as well, but if you need a discount for the colostrum, there you go. What else was I going to say there? But yeah, that's why the colostrum has effects on the upper respiratory system, as well as the aloe vera juice. So recently low on the vitamin D. Yeah, heck yeah, I was too. I started doing liquid form, so we got that problem situated real quick. But okay, wait, Rohith's in here. What's up, buddy? Returning viewers. He says, holla, how we doing, man? How was the test? I think that was yesterday that you told me that. Yeah, how's the test, buddy? He says, hey, we got people waving. Where was the other one? Does eating non-veggies also make stomach acidity, or also make the stomach acidic? Does also eating non-veggies, so you mean like, does also eating no vegetables do that? What do you mean there? Non-vegetarian, so just like no vegetables at all. Will that make your stomach more acidic? No. Chicken, mutton, beef, etc. Yeah, like say like you're just not eating a ton of veggies, like you're completely ignoring the vegetable thing. Is that going to affect your stomach acid? No, not in that sense. Because you're going to need, for doing a ton of proteins like that, you need that stomach acidity to be higher. So say you're, trying to get in more proteins regularly, then you need more stomach acidity. So you could sterilize all that down, but then start to break it down. That's the first place, well, aside from you chewing it, that's the first place that it starts to be broken down, and the sterilization is a huge portion of that first step. So I still would want people incorporating some type of veggie in there. And how I kind of get around that, because I freaking hate vegetables, people. I'm not somebody that enjoys eating salads. I'm not somebody that enjoys eating freaking squash. It's boring. It's boring. Sometimes it pairs really well when you have like a nice tasting plate there. But fermented veggies are the way to go because there's zero prep time. You could just scoop things right out of the jar, glass jar stored. Whether you want to ferment or pickle these veggies on your own, that's up to you, but you do help break down into nutrient layers. So for the carnivores that are like, oh my goodness, veggies are trying to kill you, it's like, well, when they're raw, yeah, I totally understand the point of anti-nutrients. I totally get it. That is 100,000% true when it's raw. But the way that veggies are prepared for thousands of years is to store them over time and pickle them and ferment them, steam them or roast them. I just think you get more out of pickling or fermenting these things than you do just basic, steaming them. But yeah, that's a way that you can get them in. Because who the hell likes to eat veggies by the pound, right? I know someone who eats meat a lot, and the stomach is like highly acidic. So to make it neutralize, use alkaline from the bones and all. I mean, yeah, the stomach needs to be acidic. Pretty much anything you eat will not be more acidic than the stomach itself. Our human's stomach pH is like 1.5 to 2. So if you put, your finger in there, you're coming out with a nub. Like it's going to destroy anything that comes in there, which is why it's so important to have higher amounts when you're eating a lot of veggies and things like that, or meats and things like that. I mean, important with veggies too, don't get me wrong, that's also true. But it became normal after he stopped eating meat. Yeah, maybe his stomach acidity was probably too low, and now he's eating all that meat, having an issue with acid reflux and things, when he needs more of that, not less. So pretty cool. Most people think it's the complete opposite. I disagree though. You got the book right there. Okay. Well, this was pretty hard, but yeah, I have done my best. Nice. Maybe you get some rest time now, hopefully. I know you're like up super late every night, especially in your time zone. For me here, it's, we're talking 6 p.m., so I'm getting ready for sleep soon. Ooh. Any solution for mouth ulcers? First of all, ouch. That sucks. Yeah, I mean, the aloe vera juice that I freaking talk about every time on here, just because it has such a cooling effect and does great with things like wounds, open wounds, sores, ulcerations, and I would probably, tag along some licorice extract and doing very, very small amounts of that when you first start. Very small amounts, because it's going to suck if you don't. Because most extracts have some form of alcohol in there. But in terms of why that mouth is ulcering, there's probably some issue going on with some viral proteins in there and not having the immune responses up to par. So you might be a little immune deficient. The test was pretty hard. The mouth ulcer question. Rest? Nah. I have 3 tests every week until February. Oof. I remember those days. Holy crap. I never want to go back, dude. So bad. School's horrible. It really is. And it's cost so much money. But I think you said that it doesn't cost a lot of money for you guys out there. Jealous, man. My student loans are crazy. Crazy. Mouth ulcers can be due to poor brushing. Also, I mean, yeah, if you're really digging in with the toothbrush there, challenging the barriers of the mouth, maybe, or maybe lack thereof, and now things grow a little bit. But I don't know. I kind of look at that. There's a couple different things going on microbially too, both bacterial things and possible viral issue there. So maybe there's some connection. I don't know if that's the main piece though. But a good question. Yeah, I mean, if you get a seat in government college, then the government pays all the tuition fees and also gives stipend or some money, so that I'd assume when you're going through, you can have some sort of income there, which is very real, because most students are like, man, Uber Eats, what the hell do I do here? So there's that. But heck yeah. But I'm excited. I'm excited to freaking sign this lease, my friends. We're going to be getting rolling here pretty soon. So send in your email questions, grab all the discounts while you can, because I'm going to have a fee schedule pretty soon. So I don't have one right now. I'm just trying to build a community as much as possible and give away shit like crazy. Which, you guys are pretty cool over here on YouTube. I've been doing some Rumble streams too, and it's just, you gotta spend a lot of time growing it first. It doesn't have as much good discoverability as, say, YouTube would. TikTok's pretty damn good at it too. It's just the people in TikTok are freaking, dude. Like, I could do it. It's just I gotta take little breaks, Didn't get the lease signed. I thought I got it done yesterday. I got the final copy, but I'm waiting for the final go ahead from the headquarters team to go ahead and sign it. So we're waiting for like one more document to be done. Yes, the divorced blue hair people. It's so true, man. It's so true. You think I'm kidding? It's like, I look at the profiles every time. It's like, 9 cats, just the flags and everything. I'm glad someone gets me. I'm surprised Nas isn't on here, or Nikki. They'll be on it, I bet. But heck yeah. I think because we covered sleep pretty well on the horizontal lives, this is just a health Q&A, but I've been doing more structured things, and we covered sleep part 1 and part 2, which I'm gonna drop the clean, refurbished videos of those on Friday, I believe. So I'm kind of releasing some lead ups to that with just the snippets in there, and then go into part 2. But I think we're gonna do a whole thing on weight loss and protein and metabolic syndrome and get into a bunch of fun stuff. So that'll be cool. And tie that in with digestion and things. So it should get fun. Pretty cool here. I kind of like doing those. You know, it's like 30 to 45 minutes of just straight up content, lecturing, doing it live with you guys too. So those will be probably weekly from here on out, just because I want to have a good time, you know, preparing all the material and stuff, because it takes a while to prepare all that stuff, but I like doing, you know, at least one weekly talk that we can do there. So sleep challenge motivated them to sleep. It's motivated me to sleep better. I'm definitely cracking down on it, getting my times regulated. It's certainly a thing. Ooh, Tommy, hello. I had a head injury almost a month ago. No bleeding or anything visible. A few days ago, my head started to hurt from pulsing to very sharp pain. On a scale of 1 to 10, it's a solid 6.5 to 7. Okay. I would wonder if it doesn't sound like you saw anybody that you were able to follow up with. Like, did you go to a primary? Did you have anybody check this out? I mean, the very first thing, like say this happened to a family member of mine, the very first thing is I'm gonna do is eye tracking. So maybe a family member of yours you guys can pull up a video on how to evaluate eye tracking and like a pupillary light reflex, just to see if there's any central nervous system issues going on. Because if you can't track the eyes very well and there's a pupillary light reflex that's failed there, then we got some things to check out in terms of working up through, you know, maybe getting an MRI done, maybe getting some concussion evaluation and going through physical therapy or something like that. But that's not something to ignore. That is not something to ignore. I would also wonder what happened, you know. Do you remember, you know, are there pieces that you don't recall? Are there, yeah, we would need some more details on that, but my email's down below too. So if you want to write me a little essay of the story, everything that you remember, definitely. But that is a good question. What do you think about LASIK surgery? I mean, you know, from my point of view, most people are considering that when it's gotten, you know, so far gone. I love helping people work on things like that, leading up and preventing issues like that. Unless there's like, you know, a true shape or deformity there, then obviously you would need that right off the bat. But this is why I'm always talking about organ meats on here, always talking about getting the immune system regulated, watching blood sugars and things like that, because those all affect your vision. When you're either deficient in those things or you have higher amounts of circulating sugars in the body, I mean, diabetic neuropathy is kind of connected to the eye too. And there's key things that go wrong with the eye when there is that diabetic type of issue, but you don't have to be diabetic to have these things come about. Am I against getting any of that done? No. Especially if it, you know, got to a point to where, crap, what did I do to my chat? Okay, wait, let's get back here. Sorry, I clicked the wrong button, people. What is high for you? I mean, what power is considering high? In terms of sugar? What do you mean by power? What is high for you? I mean, what power is considered high? Yeah, I mean, if it's about the sugar question, then definitely insulin that's over 6. Oh, eye power. You mean like the chart reading? I mean, I'm kind of blessed to have 20/10, so that's pretty good. I think I'm saying that right. I have 20/10, so I mean, what do they say? At least 20/20? Is that what you're asking? Let me see if your term is the same as my term. Oh no, you're talking shape of the lens. Yeah. Yeah, that, if there's an issue with that, then you 100% am gonna need something like, LASIK just to help with reshaping things. And 1 plus 2.15 hypermetropic. Oh, it's been so long since I looked at this stuff. But it's certainly worth getting that LASIK. Totally. Because your freaking life will change. And then, keeping up on all the other practices of health once you get that. Just so you don't have to, or you could at least prolong the next one, I think. But they're being done beautifully now, especially with robotics getting involved and getting, painless almost. Thank you. So not to ignore, I didn't see anyone because I didn't see blood. It just, hurt for a few minutes after it happened. I felt embarrassed because of the nature. I lost balance while picking up my socks. Yeah, I wonder what happened here. What the full story is. If there's pieces that you don't remember, that's definitely worth looking into there. So, but at the very least, doing some eye tracking and seeing if the eyes are tracking well, because they are an extension of the brain. So, pretty cool. We take these eyes for granted, I will say. We do take these eyes for granted. Why did Rohith's come up here but not over there? What power were you talking about? I wasn't talking. I was talking like the field of vision test, or not? Is it field of vision? Basically, when you get the eye ranks, like 20/20, the measurements for glasses, pretty much, right? Like when people are getting glasses evaluated. I have 2010 in my left and 2015 in the right. So I'm extra cool. That's for sure. Thickness of the lens? No, it's just like what the heck is it called? It's not a, maybe it's like a vision acuity test? Is that what it is? Visual acuity test? I think that's what it's called. Yeah, visual acuity test. Like where there's the letters on the thing and you cover one eye and you cover the other. Yeah, visual acuity test. I wasn't talking like shape of lenses or anything as technical as that. Whoa, we got the stream buffering. There's a little bit of a delay on here, actually. How long ago was that head injury, actually? What did he say over here? About a month ago, right? If I go to see a doctor, should I go to the ER? Or since it's not current injury, I mean, your primary should be able to at least do the beginning steps of an evaluation for that, because you'll probably be waiting forever to go to like a neurologist or something like that to get imaging if you went to that. But I mean, you don't want to have confusion occurring. You don't want to have, I mean, the severe headaches is one sign of it. What else? Like when people start throwing up, people start passing out randomly. If you're resting a ton, it's just, what's weird is that the pain came back. That's the only weird part that I don't like. But ER, you can, but it's not going to be. You could probably go to a primary and start there. TikTok today? No TikTok today. I might do it later. I don't know. I'm kind of TikToked out. I gotta take breaks from TikTok, dude. It's just the freaking divorced moms in there are crazy, dude. Crazy. And that's why I got the whole soundboard and everything prepped up that way anyways. So I kind of do it in bouts, or when I have like my second phone charged, then I'll just do it live on both of them. But I didn't have the second phone charged, so is there any treatment for bed sores? I mean, you can do something like whipped beef tallow in the meantime, just to help those skin barriers form a little bit. You could do something like a collagen powder, like the Equip Foods website I keep talking about. They have a really good collagen powder on there too, just to help with the skin regenerating there and getting good fatty acids in there, your fair share of clean wild caught fish, your omegas, get some beef in there. It was a whole okay, then that's severe. I don't expect you to put tallow in there. Probably something like aloe vera gel. That would do really well. It's just very hydrating and protective and soothing. That would be my first move for something like that. Nas is, what's up? What's poppin'? We got our little fam hanging out. Rohith, Nas, the day ones. He says, ooh, sleep challenge didn't motivate them. The day ones. Yeah, the sleep challenge is still going. We've still got all month. And the whole purpose of these challenges is just to have people continue them, right? Because we just get so caught up with life that priorities start to slip. And when your priorities aren't in check, life falls apart, man. Your priorities have to be down pat, because the only way to cruise in life is downhill. Remember that. It's the only way to cruise downhill, folks. Gotta get your sleep going. How y'all doing? Doing pretty well. We are still waiting to put the pen to the paper on the signature of this lease. Make big old fancy letters in that thing. But just waiting for the green light from headquarters so that we can get this office up and rolling in New Jersey. Tom is back. I have a high pain tolerance, so when I was woken by pain during a night 4 days ago, it kind of scared me. I took something for the pain, but it helped just a little. Thank you for your advice. Yeah, what I don't like is that you're having this delayed pain come back. So, unless you did something else to jar the head up there, or you've just been staring at lights and stuff all day, and like your job or something is making this healing process take forever and kind of stepping you back a few steps. But I don't know, the delayed pain there that's now coming back, I don't like that. That just, something might be going on there. So, I think it's worth doing some eye tracking tests with a friend or a spouse or somebody. That way you can kind of be like, okay, cool, we're good. But, do you suggest to get a surgery to get rid of varicose veins? And I mean, when people are at the point of considering that, like say somebody's middle-aged and they've been having this issue for decades and they kind of need something right now because they can feel pulsations in the legs, they can feel their blood is, not pooling and circulating right, then they're probably going to need something like that. But the underlying processes are still going to be taking place. So that does have a ton to do with blood pressure. That has a ton to do with mental stress alone. Can damage vein tissue like crazy. lack of muscle stimulation, because veins depend on those muscles to pump the blood back to the heart and circulate it. I think doing things like inversion tables and even checking out somebody's liver that has varicose veins like that, because if they are having some duct issues or portal vein issue, or more so, yeah, like hepatic portal vein issues with being inflamed, having some visceral fat on the abdomen there and around your visceral organs, now that's just even more stress on the liver, on the venous system, on the heart tissue. So Tommy said, we'll do so. Heck yeah, man. I'm sure that there's great videos out there that will literally show you how to do it. And then Rohith, will there be any side effects? Only side effects? I mean, if you find somebody that does really good work, like I know patients that I've had and family members that I had too, that went through and got some of those things done because they needed it in that moment. But, you know, as soon and even as that's happening, you should definitely be doing things about it. We have a recipe on the Wellness Way website for basically like a drink that you can make to just have a low budget daily practice that you can do for veins and things like that, especially, you know, taking in collagen and things. I think it's a scoop of collagen, half a lime, half a lemon with the outside of it too. So do not get rid of the the crust. What is it called? The peel, whatever. You're gonna literally throw half a lime, half a lemon in there, a bunch of ice, some water, and broccoli sprouts, and blend that thing up. So even a pinch of apple cider vinegar in there. It's not pleasant to drink, I know. You can use some Olipop or some Zevia to do that, but we have a recipe for it on the website, and that will just flood the system with antioxidants, flood it with great forms of different collagen, and a ton of vitamin C, and other cofactors there too. So good question though. Varicose veins, not fun. I don't know if Tommy's still in here, but what just came to mind too would probably be doing something like ginkgo and go to cola to just help the brain there, just repairing from that injury. Without TikTok, it's not gonna lie. Yeah, I know the reach on there is crazy, but if we get this thing, like, can I spam the like button in here, or will it know? And that's why I'm starting to do these more and more daily, because for, I think earlier in the year, I was doing these, Rohith, you were there, I was doing these pretty regularly, and I had 50 to 100 people in at a time. So it's a matter of just staying consistent for 1 or 2 weeks, and then it starts blowing up like crazy. Especially with all the other content that I'm putting out there now, taking snippets and making things into actual videos with thumbnails, and oh my goodness, like a full-blown freaking YouTuber here. Yeah, TikTok's definitely crazy active for things like that. But I believe in YouTube. I just think TikTok's kind of oversaturated with that stuff. I think it's, and the types of people you're talking to are just lower quality people, I guess. I don't know. In my opinion, right? I've been on there long enough to say it, so. But if we stay consistent on here and just keep rolling like crazy, putting in the time, giving out the value, we'll get her back up and rolling. Jordan Peterson got pneumonia. Actually, maybe we'll do a little current events here. I guess to get attention on YouTube back, it's just about videos and consistency. Yeah, I think the lives are kind of the key too, because you get a lot of watch time in, and it just draws in a ton of people. But yeah, Jordan Peterson had like a near-death pneumonia experience recently too, which is pretty crazy. And that really happens when people are immunocompromised, when people are immune deficient, when they do not have proper natural killer cell and T cell responses. They're not feeding their bone marrow. They're not doing things like astragalus and reishi mushroom and turkey tail. Their vitamin D is way out of whack. So I would love to have a patient like Jordan Peterson. That would be so fun. We would get so deep into the conversations on the console calls. So, oh yeah, I saw that. I saw that basically 5 minutes after it happened. It was crazy, absolutely crazy. But yeah, near-death experience with pneumonia. That's like, man, we really got to work on his immune system. Him and his daughter, I think, are doing steaks only or like meat only. But you're missing out on a lot of key essential things. And the carnivore people get so up in arms when you say that. It's like, oh my goodness, you don't know what you're talking about. Plants are trying to kill us. It's like, guys, the best supplements in the world are plants. What the hell are you talking about? They help more than the majority of things. And honestly, let me backtrack on that a little bit, because if you're deficient in just normal, regular nutrients there, then yeah, you have a major problem. But seeing somebody like Jordan Peterson get really sick like that, near-death pneumonia, it's like, it's pretty crazy. By the way, why do celebrities store stem cells? I don't know. They're doing weird stuff, those folks. We have stem cells. You make stem cells every day. Things like Romania, things like astragalus, both help you produce those from your own body, which is super cool. And people don't realize that we have everything we have is already on the planet for getting health back. Even ashwagandha with heat shock proteins that get affected from taking something like that, and that helping in different senses of longevity there, and just adapting to your stressors that you come into contact overall. But yeah, astragalus and Romania by far dominate in terms of, plants that you can do that do assist with stem cell production. But really the biggest piece is getting the inflammation down, getting testing done, figuring out what your triggers are, where the stressor's coming from. And now you know directly how to support your body, because we're not the same. Even twins, they might look the same, but on the inside, it are two different stories occurring there. So even now, I don't know if you guys have a Costco out there, but there's a Costco Ozempic now, like a Costco form of Ozempic. So they're like discount selling them at Costco now. It's like, what is happening, people? It's like, you have the food court right there that is creating the obesity issue. And then they get a piece of pizza, they get a chicken bake, and they get a double chunk chocolate chip cookie. And then they have the Ozempic Wegovy stuff, or Costco Ozempic right after it. What do you think about Brian Johnson? He literally takes 25 tablets a day. Yeah, I think that's kind of crazy. We're getting to crazy land there. Trying to do everything vegan. It's like, I don't know. He's doing some, I mean, it's great for research purposes and getting information out of it. And I bet he's seeing benefits to just targeting, because that's all he works on all day long, is just bettering his health, because I think he's a billionaire or something, right? So he has all the time in the world to do that. And making a decent product. I looked at the vegan protein that he has out there, and it's a damn good product. It's, in terms of my vegan friends that never want to touch a meat source thing, I've been pushing them to that like crazy. So, hey, cheers to that, huh? What else? We got Breast Cancer Awareness Month, where all the pink ribbons and pink labels get put on products that have cancer-causing ingredients in there. So that's fun. It's like, why don't we just take that out of the products, and then maybe we do that for Breast Cancer Month. What do you think makes the body heat up, like get warm? Obviously activity, but then having some infection or immune trigger. That's why you get sick, you get a fever, so that your body can increase that temperature and start to kill off pathogens easier. So it's the whole purpose of a fever, and I don't know why we want to try and suppress that all the time. That makes no sense. The body's doing that for a reason. And unless it gets crazy high and out of whack, then that's a normal thing that's supposed to happen. We shouldn't be trying to suppress that. But I mean, there can be other minor things go on that just increase irritation and histamine responses, and now that leads to increased heat production there too. Oh, getting ulcers due to heat of the body? They're usually stress induced. So stress, whether that be usually a combination of mentally and chemically stressing somebody out, will lead to something like that. So the heat thing is probably a connection with underlying inflammation there. So that's just, we turn right back to the stressor piece, because that's what leads to the inflammatory response anyway. So it's like, oh my goodness, there we go. It's kind of funny with diagnoses. Really, all that tells you is what to do in the medical system. That doesn't make you healthy again. So that's the thinking that I'm trying to change here, is let's work on the terrain instead of just trying to give pills to the fish. Like if you have a dirty fish tank, it's like, yeah, you can medicate the fish, or you can clean the damn tank and allow the fish's body to heal itself again. It's the same analogy that I use with the fireman carpenter analogy. When there's a fire, call the fire department, put that fire out. But are you rebuilding after that fire is out? And the fire department does not do that. So you don't call them back again to rebuild the damn house. But whose job was it to take care of the house in the first place? It's our job. Why is the body so interconnected? Getting ulcers is related to stress. Yeah, you see that with like George St. Pierre, if you watch UFC. When he would enter fight camps, he would be so stressed out mentally and physically too, just using his body and training and cutting the weight, fighting all the time. You're having multiple different stresses hit the body. So people think that word stress just means anxiety or something like that. That's not the only type. There's multiple forms of stress there. And there's good stressors and there's bad stressors too. So it's even another layer deep, because exercise can be beneficial, but you can do it too much, right? So you can drink too much water and get harmed from that. So it is interconnected. That's why I'm always shouting about the Swiss watch principle on here too. Like if somebody smashes your toe with a hammer, or you hit the end of the coffee table with your freaking toe, your blood pressure changes, your mood, digestion, all these things, heart rate, everything changes. So yeah, it is all connected. And if you stub your toe enough, there's going to be other issues take place elsewhere. And the heal time on that is forever if you do that once a week. So, but hey, good stuff. How far is Maryland? That's a good question. How do you know what Maryland is? You live all the way out there. You live in the Middle East. How the heck? Let's see. Where's the maps? Okay, there it is. Directions. Oh, 4 hours. Pretty far, to be honest. Pretty damn far. I didn't think Maryland was that far. But 4 hours away. But I guess it depends on what part of it you're going to. Because the top corner would be definitely way less than that. My brother is doing his master's in Maryland. Holy crap. That's pretty cool. What school? I told him about you, and he's like, I'll check it out. Nice. Thanks for the plugs, man. Thanks for the plugs. Good shite. What other health news did we have? I'll do this every Tuesday. I'll go to, University of Maryland. Go figure, huh? Maybe we'll do like trending health topics here. Because we had the Jordan Peterson near-death pneumonia. We had the Costco Ozempic, which is kind of funny. And then Listeria got linked to a frozen pasta and like ready-to-eat meals. I don't know the brand in particular. Actually, let me see if I can find that. Listeria link. Latest news. Not deli meat. It said pasta. Walmart, Trader Joe's pasta dishes prompt Listeria concerns. Yikes, people. That's why you gotta make your own damn food. So none of this crap happens. I don't know the brand though. Department of Agriculture issued an alert last week about 2 products with specific use by dates in late September and early October. Market sign Linguine with beef and meatballs and marinara sauce sold at Walmart and Trader Joe's. Cajun style blackened chicken breast fettuccine alfredo. The USDA said the pasta in those products may be contaminated with Listeria monocytogenes that appears to be genetically related to a deadly Listeria outbreak that happened already spread to 15 states: California, Florida, Illinois, Indiana, Louisiana, Michigan, Minnesota, Montana, Nevada, North Carolina, Ohio, South Carolina, Texas, Utah, and Virginia. Dang. That is crazy. My brother's like having crazy hair fall in the US. He was having very good hair in India, not gonna lie. I'm sure he became a bit bald now. I mean, yeah, that can occur obviously from mental stress there, but then there's the links to basically our water quality, having a bunch of chemicals in there that will definitely promote hair loss, and the histamine that comes from eating food in America. Because super cool about the hair itself is that it has its own HPA axis and hormone output in our hair. Isn't that the coolest thing ever? That's kind of a little bit separate from things that go on systemically. So, you know, chronic DHT elevations, chronic histamine reactions, chronic cortisol elevations will change the hair itself. So keep the stressors down, folks, and don't eat inflammatory foods. You're gonna be bald. I'm sure he became a bit bald now. He's even talking finasteride now. He used to use minoxidil. Okay, so he was already using something. Oh, and then a bunch of these are about jabs, so I can't really get into those very much, which is fun. But yes, all right, what do we do here? How long do we go? Almost an hour. Well, good stuff, people. For those of you that don't know, obviously we got our sleep challenge this month. That's been a majority of the longer form videos that I'm putting out there, along with the Q&A lives that we do, clipping those up, put them in shorts. But if you want to get into the sleep challenge, go to thewellnessway.com, type in sleep, and then there'll be an article in there that you can click on and get all the infographics for, all the handouts for, track everything, and know how to start supporting things like that. So when is the next sleep challenge live? I did 2 of them, and I have so much content out of those 2. So I think by the time I finish posting all of those, it's going to be like 2 or 3 weeks from now. So in the meantime, I'm going to be kind of moving on to further topics. But I can do one maybe at the end of October. Say we get back into it, maybe tie in sleep apnea, obstructive breathing, some of the nasal opener things, the nose strips, nasal strips that you're seeing out there, because that helps people out a ton too, and you get way more oxygenation over the night. And there's probably some more stuff that I can go into on sleep, but I want to make sure that we're getting into some other things that people are constantly asking me too. But if you have further things that you want to see me do, like an hour-long lecture on, or I keep saying an hour long, but when you have that much material, it goes pretty quick. So by the way, you're not going live at Instagram. I don't know. Instagram is like the worst live platform that I've ever seen. It'll literally be like one person in there over the course of 3 hours. TikTok, number 1. Then I'd say YouTube. Then maybe Facebook, which I can do those Rumble Studio streams to Facebook as well, but I don't know. Maybe we'll do that next time. Depends on how I'm feeling. I kind of like the Rumble YouTube side of things. It's just a different crowd, honestly, which requires different pieces of content. So trying to do that for you guys a bunch more, and at least do them weekly. Maybe even we'll do that a little bit more often too. It just takes a while to write these up. So join the sleep challenge. We'll be back definitely tomorrow and the next day and the next day and the next. So I'm gonna drop the full part 1 sleep video, all pretty and edited and all that stuff, on Friday. And yeah, check that out. But without further ado, I'm gonna go eat some dinner and then prepare some of the live that we're gonna do on Friday or Saturday, and go another nice long live there. Give you guys a bunch of value. If you want to send me an email with labs or questions that you have further, oh my goodness, the Goodwill, he's back. It's been a while since I've seen you in here, buddy. I've been starting to do the longer pieces that it was actually the Goodwill, this man right here. He said, hey, can you do, long form stuff instead of just shorts or doing like a Q&A live? So I've been doing a couple of them on sleep. We got one out there on digestion as well, which you'll have to check out the lives because I didn't make them into nice, pretty videos yet. But check that out. If you're looking for protein, collagen, clean forms of coffee that is not crazy expensive, liver capsules, all those good things, the Equip Foods discount is down below in the description here. But I'm going to head out, get a nice little dinner in. I think we're doing some fish and rice and beautiful stuff like that. Bye, have great sleep. Yes, it is almost 7 o'clock, so got to start getting the melatonin out, getting ready to go to bed. So good stuff, people, and we'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace out.